Good morning, YouTube. I bet a lot of you guys have been waiting for this video all day. I know how much you love the drama. I know how much you do. I love it too. All right, let's get into it. So yesterday, GBRS was nice enough to put a video out, um, taking a position on the SIG 320 situation. Said it, they're like, oh, this has just been brought to our attention. I mean, it was DJ doing most of the talking, to be fair, but hey, this has just been brought to our attention. This Achilles heel tactical video, you might remember that from a couple weeks ago, where the cameraman was filming Rick giving some explanation or something. You hear a pop, and then the camera pans down the line, and he kind of wigs out. He's like, "Is that fucking 320?" Like that whole thing. These guys, it's just been brought to GBRS's attention, so they put out a little video, and I would say they're getting slayed. Obviously, they're getting a lot of crap for it because really, I mean, I'm going to go through and discuss it kind of point by point, but I think the video would have played a lot better like 5 years ago. All right, they spent about a third of it discussing an AD on their range, which they had video of, and it was they say guys fingering the trigger. That's what the video looks like, and you're just like, okay, yeah, I mean. They're like, well, but we had this AD over here, and this guy said his finger wasn't in the trigger guard, but then we have the video and it was. So, all right. So they kind of like throw out that, I mean, I guess a red herring, just like, well, that's not really like, yeah, I mean, that kind of stuff happens, sure. The guns don't go off by themselves, or if I put my SIG 320 in the safe, it won't go off type of argument. And then they demand to see DJ wants video proof of a guy standing there with his arms crossed like this, and then the SIG going off in the holster. That's what he wants to see before he'll be convinced. Now, like I said, this would have played a lot better 5 years ago. It's kind of like if I heard like there's a discharge, a gun goes off in a public bathroom like at the mall, and there's a concealed carry permit holder in there, and their gun went off. Okay, and then they're saying, well, I didn't touch it. It just went off by itself, right? Obviously, like I'm not going to believe them. It'd be like, yeah, okay, like sure, you didn't touch it. You're in the bathroom. You're doing bathroom stuff. You're fucking around with the gun in the holster, and you set it off, probably, right? Like what I don't know the probability of like that being the what actually happened when the person is reporting that the gun went off by itself, but almost always it'll be like the person did that and they're just like trying to bullshit people, right? However, in the case of the 320, it's been years now of like little reports, and it's never cut and dried. It's never as clean as like people want it to be. It's like people expect 4K slow-mo footage zoomed in on the holster of the gun going off. That's not really what it looks like in real life when you get footage of something like that. I posted one to Instagram like a few weeks ago that was surveillance footage from a range, which was no audio, and it was, you could just see guys milling around, and then there's something happens and the guys shift around, like they move a little bit. And like the story that goes along with it is, yeah, one of the guys was standing there and the SIG went off in his holster without him touching it. And the video I mean, if you had all of those like witness statements and all that stuff, the video along with it is pretty interesting. But the video by itself, you can't tell what you're looking at. Like that's kind of how it works in the real world. So anyway, the GBRS guys put out that like they have a demand for proof that I think is honestly, it's kind of crazy. It's just not how it works. Another interesting thing that was brought up was the Achilles heel tactical ban on SIG 320s. It's not allowed on their range anymore. DJ didn't like that. And that's another one where it's like I've actually been thinking about doing the same thing, but my thoughts are kind of different than DJ's. It's kind of like I think the SIG 320s are not a good idea. Like I wouldn't tell anyone to buy them for one. Like that's kind of where I'm at. And I think there's a problem. There's a low probability issue where they can go off in the holsters. Like again, I think that's what I think's happening. However, I haven't banned him from the class because like I haven't never banned any equipment from any class. I wouldn't want to give people the impression that I go through all their gear and it's make sure that it's safe and it's stuff that I would run or anything like that. Like if I see a problem in real time, I'll say something, but I don't, it's like I don't inspect everyone's ammo or like inspect everyone's gun. I'm not capable of inspecting everyone's gun and making sure that they're safe before a class starts, right? So it'd be kind of a weird thing for me to just ban 320s, right? Even though it's like, I don't think it's a good idea to buy them right now. You know what I mean? So it's like, they've got kind of a weird take on the Achilles heel ban of the 320. Like if they have one that went off like they believe it was in the holster, it just went off by itself. That's what they believe. So they banned him. And it's like, well, that's perfectly reasonable. Like they can do that if they want, for sure. Uh, so I don't know. It's like the GBRS guys, it's like they're not seeing. There's two possibilities really. Like they don't pay any attention. They're not seeing all this stuff or not looking for it. There's a lot of people that go look for the SIG stuff to see like, you know, video of all these different little incidents and like different news articles and different reports and all that stuff. If they're not looking for or looking at that stuff and they just don't know shit, they don't know about all these other allegations and everything, that might make sense, right? Or they're aware of that stuff and lying about it. Possible. Like, I don't really know. In any event, obviously they're getting lit up for their takes on this in the comments. Like it's kind of wild. All right, so I reposted their video to Instagram, the GBRS one. Let's go on there and look at the comments. I did pin one. I thought it was my favorite one that I pinned to the top. Taking anything shooting related from GBRS is like taking astronaut shit from Katy Perry. And that's actually a really good analogy. It's like I don't really care what the GBRS guys say about shooting. Like they're not doing anything interesting or anything like really high level, in my opinion. It's like they're just kind of regurgitating training they got in the military, which is fine. Like I don't give a shit. That is fine. But it's like I don't really care what they think about shooting because like they're at a way higher level than most people, but they're not, you know, they're not that interesting if you are looking at the top of the field. Like those guys aren't in it. All right. So it's kind of like Katy Perry, the astronaut. Like she's way more of an astronaut than like anybody I know because she's been to space. But do I care what she thinks about space? Not really. Mr. Park commented, this video won't age well. No, it did not. Trench grenades gone in the comments. Okay, but they're perfect, Ben. They can never be wrong about anything. Yeah, I don't know about that. When are they going to do an operator manual compliance video? All right. Gungus Khan, one of the YouTubers who had a SIG 320 go off in the holster, he says, and I believe him, he seems pretty credible to me. He commented, statistically, this is still a low probability. It's like hitting the unlucky lottery having one go off in the holster. That said, why not just carry something with orders of magnitude lower probability of clapping your leg, PP, or Benchmade? Consequences are too high for the risk. Yes, that's a very prudent opinion at this point. For people that are just observing this stuff on the internet, and like let's say you're looking to buy a gun and you're looking at the stuff on the internet, like if you're halfway intelligent, you're just not going to look at the 320. Like, yeah, just scratch that one off the list. I'll just buy one of the other many options I have. Yes. Check cleared for these clowns. Yeah, I mean, the goobers seem bought or otherwise in the bag for SIG. That's what it looks like. I mean, he's at one point in the video, he's like, we all run SIG 320s because they're the best. You're just like, okay. One comment. You'd think they would be better at shooting since outside of the few pros at SIG, they put more rounds through a 320 than anyone else. You might think that. I wouldn't think that. I mean, there's a surprising number of people that can shoot extreme round counts and they just don't get that much out of it for whatever reason. I'm not convinced, to be honest. One of the most popular guns in the world. There is 100 million of them floating around, and 1 in a million have problems. And there's been over 100 NDs, and there hasn't been. Someone with statistics knowledge break down the statistical significance here. It has to be greater than 60 or something, right? Yeah, okay. There's people that are not convinced. There's some of you are not convinced. One comment here. How many videos and eyewitness statements do you need? That's one of the lawyers that's involved in suing SIG commented that. My reply to him was, it's always one more than exists currently. So when you're dealing with like what I've found on the internet, if there's like a DJ Shipley guy who like doesn't want to believe that something is true, it's like they will just like, oh, well, I need more proof. Or like, I want the video of the guy standing here like this, not moving, and then it goes off. And of course, I'm sure it'd have to be in 4K and it'd have to get you a clear view of what model pistols in the holster and all that stuff. And then maybe he'd accept it or something like that. No, if people don't want to be convinced, they don't want to be convinced. Like I think that's fine. What you do is as more facts emerge, you just make fun of those people and you persuade everyone around them. That's kind of how it works. Like, look at the track the SIG thing has taken in the last 5 years. It's gone from, um, like it's basically it's like more and more and more people are starting to look at all of these issues with the guns. And lately, it's been kind of hitting critical mass. What do I mean by that? Well, one of my friends, for example, big 320 fan, shoots him in competitions, really likes the platform. He's open-minded and he recognizes there's some problems with it where he's like, oh, it's like really complicated to take apart the slide compared to other things. But the frame modularity is nice, and he's got a well-formed opinion of that. But in the end, he likes the gun, chooses to carry it on duty, and chooses to shoot it in competition. And I remember discussing with him last year, say, hey man, what do you make of these reports of like the gun going off by itself? And he's like, man, I don't know. Like I can't replicate it. I mean, I see that stuff in some of the videos, like it looks really sketchy. I just don't know. And like now that was 2024. 2025, he helped get them banned from his agency, like his own gun that he carries. So nobody's allowed to carry them anymore, and he switched guns, right? And that's what I mean. Like enough, it's kind of hitting critical mass of information where people see enough and they're like, yep, I see what's going on here. There's a problem. There's doing pin punch tests on your guns, and you're like, oh, like, well, these ones fail and these don't. I'm like, what's going on here? There's an issue with this thing, like that. Like the people go through that evolution. It just seems like the goobers are 5 years behind, and with the money that is probably changing hands, they might just intentionally be like 5 years behind. That might be what it is. Just for fun, let's go through the comments on the GBRS video. We'll sort it by, oh, I had a comment on there. I sure did. Sort by top comments. All right. Paid influencers are going to influence. That was my comment. I thought that was pretty good. Next one. Ben Steger opens up phone. Well, I know what I'm going to do today. Oh, you know it. I was actually traveling yesterday. I was jammed up in airports. I had 3 legs of a flight and a lunch thing, and I was traveling for 22 hours. So I was just watching the drama, but now I am home. All right, Ben Steger's going to love this video. You're right, I did love it. All right, goddamn, that SIG check must be real nice. Yeah, I mean, the GBRS opinion, like I said, for like experts in their field or that type of thing, they seem like bought or otherwise in the bag. They're like pretending that all these other really interesting accounts, videos, other things are not out there in the wild. And it's like maybe they've intentionally not looked at that stuff. I don't know. I work for a law firm on this issue. I have a video from the Milwaukee Police Department of a P320 going off in the holster, right hand, where the policewoman had her right arm above her head, put around through her knee. This is one of a dozen videos I have personally reviewed with the law firm. Yeah, I mean, I believe that. There is literally a video of a 320 sitting in an officer's holster, and it goes off. Another comment. This message brought to you by Sig Sauer. Another comment. The 320 situation is a great filter to see who you should not be paying attention to. Yeah, I think it is. Like some of the influencer types, like the GBRS guys, are like actively pushing back on this. Another guy, Knockout Lights on Instagram, and I talked to him. He seems nice enough, but he was saying like, he's a SIG influencer, and he's kind of pushing back on this stuff, saying, no, the community's got to like prove like this and that, or like what exactly the problem is. And I don't know. I think once you think that there's a problem, it's like not on me to prove exactly what the engineering specifics of it are. It's more like, no, you guys prove the gun is safe now because it looks like there's an issue here, and I just don't believe anything you say. Anyway, the SIG influencers are pushing back. I would tell you guys, like, pay attention to the people that SIG pays to actually do shooting things, like their competitive shooter cadre. Those people, like, do you see them making um, like hard, like forceful public statements about this issue, telling people that the SIGs are 320s are safe or there's not a problem? Do you see a whole lot of that from people? Like the SIG people on their team that you see shoot a lot? I don't think you do because their audience would fillet them, right? Of course they would. And those people know it. Like I think they shoot enough, like they know that there's some kind of issue with the gun. So it's like, well, it's not going to talk about it. Yeah. All right. Video title 6 months later. So we had an incident. Yeah, maybe that could happen. Another comment. Are we being fucking trolled by SIG shills? It looks like it. It sure looks like it. Oh my God. I have a P320 sitting on top of my fridge, quote unquote. No shit. The sear won't just magically release, but what is happening is the frame and slot are able to move independently. Yeah, okay. Yeah, so that guy's slaying the GBRS argument that, oh, if I just set one on my fridge, it doesn't go off. It's like, well, yeah, people aren't really alleging that. They're saying if the gun is jostled or bumped, it can go off under certain circumstances. That's what they're saying. Um, Been waiting for this video. Why don't we ever see this phenomenon with Glocks? Yeah, so I'd say on balance, they're getting roasted in the comments, and rightfully so. Anyway, it's good fun at this point. I'm pretty confident that in another few years, when people look back on this, they'll be like, oh, there was some problems with those guns. Like this is headed in the direction of more problems being disclosed and understood. That's what I think is happening here. And I don't think that track's going to change. The more the SIG people push back on this stuff, the more people talk about it and the more stuff will get shared. I think the snowball is picking up momentum and is like, well, it's a snow like avalanche at this point for SIG. So it's a big problem for them. We will see what happens.